First Contact and Ultimatum. The massive Centauri warship materialized above Earth's atmosphere without warning, its crystalline hull refracting sunlight in mesmerizing patterns across the planet's surface. Deep within NORAD's Cheyenne Mountain complex, Colonel Sarah Chen stood rigid before the holographic display, her dark eyes narrowing as she studied the alien vessel's configuration. "Report," she commanded, voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. Lieutenant James Rodriguez's fingers flew across his console. "Vessel length approximately 12 kilometers, ma'am. Energy readings are off the charts. Nothing like the scout ships we've encountered before." Before Sarah could respond, every screen in the command center flickered, replaced by the image of a towering figure. Queen Sara of the Centauri Empire stood nearly 3 meters tall, her iridescent scaled skin shifting colors in the light. Multiple sets of compound eyes studied the humans with cold calculation. "People of Earth," the alien monarch's voice resonated through every communication device on the planet. "Your primitive civilization has been deemed unworthy of independence. Submit to Centauri rule within your solar day, or face immediate extinction." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "Right on schedule," she murmured. The lieutenant shot her a questioning look. "Ma'am." "Initiate Protocol Omega," she ordered, "and get me a secure line to Antarctica Station." Deep beneath the frozen continent's surface, in a facility unknown to 99.9% of Earth's population, Dr. Marcus Wong received Colonel Chen's transmission. The elderly scientist's weathered face broke into a grin as he input his authorization codes. "They took the bait, then?" he asked, already knowing the answer. "Hook, line, and sinker," Sarah confirmed. "The Centauri arrogance blinds them. They have no idea what they're walking into." Marcus nodded, his fingers dancing across holographic controls. "Activating quantum mesh network now. The facade is ready to fall." For decades, humanity had maintained a carefully crafted illusion of technological inferiority. Every alien scout ship that had visited Earth saw exactly what they were meant to see: a species barely reaching for the stars, struggling with primitive rocket technology and fossil fuels. None of them detected the quantum computational matrix spanning the globe, or the zero-point energy reactors powering hidden cities beneath the oceans. They never noticed the nanotechnology infusing every human soldier, or the antimatter production facilities on Mercury's dark side. "All stations reporting ready," Rodriguez announced. "Planetary defense grid online. Orbital platforms decloaking in 3, 2, 1. Above Earth's atmosphere, thousands of previously invisible satellites shimmered into view, surrounding the Centauri warship in a complex geometric pattern. Queen Sara's compound eyes widened as her sensors suddenly detected the true extent of Earth's technological capabilities. "This is Colonel Sarah Chen of the United Earth Defense Force." Sarah broadcast on all frequencies. "Perhaps we should discuss the terms of your surrender, Your Majesty." The Centauri Queen's scales flashed crimson with rage. "Impossible. Your species is barely past atmospheric flight. A convenient fiction," Sarah replied calmly. "One we've maintained for centuries while preparing for this moment. You see, Your Majesty, we learned long ago that the galaxy was filled with empires like yours. So we waited, watched, and built in secret." Multiple hyperspace windows burst open around Earth as humanity's hidden fleet emerged from their dimensional pockets. Sleek warships of impossible geometries, their hulls composed of living metal and quantum-locked alloys, took up defensive positions around the planet. "Last chance, Queen Sara," Sarah offered. "Withdraw your forces and recognize Earth's sovereignty, or discover firsthand why we've been designated a death world by those few alien species who truly know us." The Centauri Queen's response was cut short as her sensors detected something massive rising from Earth's southern pole. The ice of Antarctica split apart as humanity's crown jewel emerged. The ESS Prometheus, a vessel that dwarfed even the Centauri flagship. "Your move, Your Majesty," Sarah said softly. "Choose wisely." As tension mounted in Earth orbit, Sarah exchanged glances with her command staff. Humanity had hidden its true nature for generations, playing the role of primitive newcomers to galactic society. Now, finally, the masquerade was ending. The real question was, would the Zentari Empire learn from this moment, or would they force humanity to demonstrate just how deadly a supposedly primitive species could be? Operation Shadow Rising. Queen Sarah's response came in the form of plasma torpedoes. The massive Zentari warship unleashed its arsenal, energy weapons lancing toward Earth's suddenly revealed defenses. Colonel Chen didn't even flinch. Quantum shields holding at 100%. Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, almost sounding bored. The Zentari weapons are primitive compared to our current technology, ma'am. Of course they are. Dr. Wang's voice came through the command center's comm system. They'd grown complacent, relying on brute force rather than innovation. While they conquered, we created. While they stagnated, we evolved. Sarah watched as the Zentari flagship's weapons dissipated harmlessly against Earth's defensive screen. Signal the Lazarus Division. Begin Phase 2. Deep within the Rocky Mountains, the first of humanity's hidden shipyards stirred to life. Similar facilities activated within the Himalayas, the Andes, and every other major mountain range on Earth. Massive hangar doors disguised as granite cliff faces slid open, revealing humanity's true military might. Wave after wave of autonomous drone fighters poured forth, their neural networks linked directly to human pilots in underground bunkers. These weren't the clumsy remote-controlled vehicles of the past. Each drone was an extension of its pilot's consciousness, moving with impossible precision and coordination. Lazarus Division, you are clear to engage, Sarah broadcast. Show them what humanity can do. The drone swarms struck with devastating efficiency, their quantum-phased weapons bypassing Zentari shields completely. The alien vessel's crystalline hull began to fracture as precisely targeted strikes exploited weaknesses that the Zentari didn't even know existed. Your Majesty, Sarah transmitted to the increasingly panicked alien queen, perhaps now would be a good time to reconsider your position. Instead of responding, Queen Sarah signaled her fleet. Hundreds of Zentari warships dropped out of faster-than-light travel, taking up attack positions around their flagship. The alien queen's scales shifted to a smug purple hue. You may have hidden technology, humans, Sarah sneered, but you cannot hope to match our numbers. Sarah's smile widened. Numbers, Your Majesty, are hardly the point. Lieutenant Rodriguez, activate the Sol Defense Network. Throughout the solar system, humanity's preparation became apparent. The surface of Mars rippled as massive weapon platforms emerged from beneath the red sands. Venus's thick clouds parted, revealing orbital shipyards that had been hidden for decades. From Mercury to the Kuiper Belt, human installations dropped their camouflage. You see, Queen Sarah explained, Earth isn't our only home anymore. While your scouts observed our primitive space program, we were building an empire of our own, right under your nose. The EFSS Prometheus moved into attack position, its massive form casting a shadow over the Zentari fleet. Unlike the crystalline architecture of the alien vessels, the human flagship was organic curves and impossible geometries, its living metal hull pulsing with internal energy. Last warning, Sarah announced. Withdraw now or face the consequences of your aggression. Queen Sarah's response was immediate and predictable. The Zentari fleet opened fire as one, thousands of energy weapons converging on Earth's defenses. For a moment, the space around Earth lit up brighter than the sun. When the light faded, Earth's forces remained unscathed. The quantum shields hadn't even flickered. Very well, Sarah sighed. Dr. Wang, you may proceed with the demonstration. From his facility beneath Antarctica, Marcus Wang initiated a sequence that humanity had hoped wouldn't be necessary. The quantum mesh network surrounding Earth pulsed, sending out a wave of energy that rippled through space-time itself. Every Zentari ship suddenly found their weapons powerless, their engines dead. The advanced technology they had relied upon for centuries simply stopped working. A targeted quantum field disruption, Sarah explained to the stunned alien queen. Your technology is based on crystalline matrices. Elegant, but predictable. Ours, well, we've moved beyond such limitations. The human fleet moved forward as one, their weapons charged, but not yet firing. They didn't need to. The demonstration had made its point. The mighty Zentari Empire, which had subjugated countless civilizations, found itself helpless before a species they had dismissed as primitive. Now then, Your Majesty, Sarah's voice carried a note of finality. Shall we discuss those terms of surrender? High above Earth, Queen Sarah stared at her dead console, her compound eyes reflecting the approaching human vessels. For the first time in her long life, the alien monarch felt something she had never expected to experience. Fear of a lesser species. The age of Zentari dominance was over. The era of humanity had begun. The counter-strike. Queen Sarah's defeat should have been the end. Instead, it was merely the beginning. Deep in the Zentari Empire's home territory, a contingency plan activated, one that would force humanity to reveal even more of its carefully hidden capabilities. Multiple quantum disturbances detected. Lieutenant Rodriguez announced, his enhanced neural implants processing data faster than any natural human could. Massive Zentari reinforcements incoming. They're different from anything we've seen before. Colonel Chen leaned forward, studying the holographic display as new Zentari vessels emerged from hyperspace. These weren't the elegant crystal ships of before. They were twisted, biomechanical monstrosities that seemed to violate the laws of physics. Fascinating, Dr. Wang's voice crackled through the comm. They've merged their technology with something alien, something old. The new Zentari ships moved with impossible speed, their weapons tearing holes in reality itself. Earth's quantum shields, previously impenetrable, began to fluctuate under the assault. They've been holding back, Sarah realized, her augmented mind racing through possibilities. Just like we have. Queen Sarah's laughter echoed through all frequencies. Did you think we would reveal our true strength to mere scouts? The Zentari Empire has existed for millennia. Humans, we have secrets of our own. Sarah's response was to activate her neural link to the Prometheus. Through the ship's sensors, she could feel the enemy fleet's wrongness. They were using technology that didn't belong in this universe. Dr. Wang, she commanded, initiate Project Ascension. They want to see our true capabilities. Let's show them. Deep beneath Antarctica, Marcus Wang placed his hand on a quantum-locked console. Are you sure? Once we cross this line. They've left us no choice, Sarah replied. Do it. Throughout the solar system, human soldiers received the activation signal. Nanites that had lain dormant in their bodies suddenly awakened, beginning a transformation that humanity had prepared for but hoped to avoid. Lieutenant Rodriguez gasped as his consciousness expanded, merging with the quantum network that spanned the solar system. Every human soldier became part of something greater, a collective intelligence that maintained individuality while achieving perfect coordination. What is this? Queen Sarah demanded, her sensors detecting the massive energy surge from Earth's forces. Evolution, Your Majesty, Sarah replied, her voice now carrying harmonic undertones as she joined the collective. Controlled, directed evolution. Humanity hasn't just been hiding technology. We've been changing ourselves. The EFSS Prometheus transformed, its living metal hull flowing like liquid as it adapted to counter the Zentari's otherworldly weapons. Similar changes rippled through the human fleet as they integrated with their enhanced crews. You merged with ancient technology, Sarah observed. We merged with something far more powerful, our own potential. The battle that followed defied conventional description. Human ships moved in perfect synchronization, their crews' enhanced minds predicting and countering every Zentari strategy. When the alien vessels tore holes in spacetime, human quantum fields sealed them instantly. Impossible, Queen Sarah whispered as her elite fleet began to fall. What are you? We are humanity evolved. The collective voice of Earth's defenders responded. We are what happens when a species faces extinction-level threats throughout its history and survives. We are what happens when a civilization refuses to stagnate. The Centauri's borrowed ancient technology proved powerful but unstable. Against humanity's unified defense, cracks began to appear in their ships' reality warping fields. One by one, the monstrous vessels began to fail. Your Majesty, Sarah's individual voice cut through the collective chorus. Your forces are beaten. Your secret weapons have failed. Will you now accept the new reality, or must we demonstrate even more of what humanity has become? In her flagship's command center, Queen Sarah stared at the sensor readings with all 4 sets of eyes. The humans hadn't just defeated her ultimate weapons, they had rendered them obsolete. Everything the Centauri Empire had built over thousands of years had been superseded by a species they had dismissed as primitive. But the Queen had one last card to play. With a gesture, she activated a quantum beacon that had never been used in the Empire's history. Throughout the galaxy, ancient machines began to stir. If we cannot rule, Tara declared, then perhaps it is time to wake the true masters of this galaxy. As reality itself began to shudder under the beacon's power, Sarah Chen and humanity's collective consciousness prepared to face whatever horrors the desperate Queen had unleashed. The true test of humanity's evolution was about to begin. Deep Space Gambit. The quantum beacon's signal reached across space and time, awakening things that should have remained dormant. Near Jupiter's orbit, massive structures began to materialize. Ancient space stations and weaponry platforms that predated both human and Centauri civilizations. By the gods, Queen Sarah breathed, her scales shifting to a deep violet of religious awe. The precursor's legacy. It's real. Colonel Chen watched through the collective consciousness as reality warped around the emerging structures. The human quantum network analyzed the ancient technology, comparing it to everything humanity had discovered and developed over centuries of secret preparation. Dr. Wang, she commanded, her individual voice cutting through the collective. Analysis. The elderly scientist's enhanced mind reached out through the network, probing the ancient stations. Fascinating. The technology is elegant, but not unbeatable. In fact, he paused, a hint of amusement in his voice. It seems remarkably familiar. What do you mean? Sarah asked, though through the collective consciousness, she was beginning to understand. The crystalline computation matrices, the quantum field manipulation. Marcus explained. The Centauri didn't develop their technology independently. They found it. Precursor artifacts that they barely understood how to use. Queen Sarah's voice carried both pride and desperation. The Divine Ones left us their wisdom. We are their chosen inheritors. No, Sarah replied calmly. You're their scavengers. And now you've awakened something you don't understand. The ancient stations were fully materializing now, their impossible geometries sending cascading waves of quantum distortion through space. But humanity's collective consciousness had already adapted, analyzing and countering each new phenomenon. You see, Your Majesty, Sarah continued, while you were worshipping these artifacts, we were studying similar ruins we found beneath Mars' surface. But instead of merely copying them, we understood them, improved upon them, evolved beyond them. As if to demonstrate her point, the EF's Prometheus suddenly shifted, its living metal hull reconfiguring into patterns that perfectly matched the ancient stations. Throughout the solar system, human ships and installations did the same, their enhanced crews instinctively understanding and implementing changes that had taken the Centauri centuries to partially grasp. Impossible. Sarah screeched. You cannot comprehend the Divine One's wisdom so easily. Divine. Dr. Wang's laugh echoed through the network. Hardly. Advanced, yes, but bound by the same universal laws as everyone else. Laws that humanity has spent centuries learning to bend. The ancient stations began to power up, their weapons charging with energy that could tear planets apart. Queen Sarah's scales shifted to a deep blue of triumph, until she realized the weapons weren't responding to her controls. "Did you really think," Sarah asked softly, "that we wouldn't have contingencies for this exact scenario?" Through the quantum network, humanity reached out to the ancient machines. The collective consciousness of Earth's defenders interfaced with the precursor technology as naturally as breathing. One by one, the stations recognized humanity's evolved neural patterns as administrator-level commands. "You awakened them," Sarah explained to the stunned alien queen, "but we control them. We are what the precursors were trying to achieve. Conscious beings who could truly understand and manipulate the quantum nature of reality itself." The ancient weapons turned, targeting the Centauri fleet instead of Earth. Queen Sarah's flagship found itself caught between humanity's evolved forces and the very legacy weapons she had hoped would save her empire. "Your final gambit has failed, Your Majesty," Sarah announced. "What happens next depends entirely on you. Surrender, and the Centauri Empire can learn from humanity. Truly learn, not just scavenge and imitate. Continue to fight." And she let the threat hang unspoken as the ancient weapons charged to full power. In her command center, Queen Sarah stared at the sensor readings with all four sets of eyes. The humans hadn't just defeated her ultimate weapons and claimed the precursor's legacy. They had surpassed both. Everything she had believed about her empire's divine right to rule had been built on a foundation of misunderstood artifacts and technological grave robbing. The queen had one last decision to make, but as she looked at the evolved human vessels, their crews linked in a collective consciousness that her people could barely comprehend, she realized there was only one choice that would ensure her species' survival. Dawn of a new era. Queen Sarah stood in the Great Hall of the United Earth Defense Force headquarters, her towering form diminished somehow by the events of the past days. Before her, Colonel Sarah Chen sat at the head of a council table, representatives from Earth's unified government arrayed on either side. "The terms are non-negotiable," Sarah stated, her neural implants temporarily disconnected from the collective to maintain diplomatic protocol. "The Centauri Empire will submit to oversight by the newly formed Human Protectorate." Sarah's scales shifted through various colors before settling on a muted gray of resignation. "And if we refuse?" "You won't," Dr. Wong said simply from his position beside Sarah. The elderly scientist's augmented eyes gleamed with certainty. "Your people have already seen what humanity is capable of. They know that everything they believed about their technological superiority was based on misunderstood remnants of a dead civilization." The quantum display floating above the council table showed the current state of the solar system. The ancient precursor stations now orbited Earth's sun in perfect harmony with humanity's evolved fleet. Their previous alien geometries had been refined, improved upon by human understanding of quantum mechanics and consciousness itself. "Your empire spent millennia worshipping artifacts you barely understood," Sarah continued. "Meanwhile, humanity spent centuries preparing for this moment. We knew we weren't alone in the universe. We knew that advanced civilizations would eventually find us. So we did what humans have always done. We adapted, evolved, and surpassed our potential threats. But why hide?" Sarah asked, genuine curiosity coloring her voice. "Why maintain the illusion of primitiveness for so long?" Sarah smiled. "Because, Your Majesty, humanity learned early in its history that appearing weak while being strong is far more advantageous than appearing strong while being weak. Every alien scout ship that dismissed us as primitive gave us more time to prepare, more time to evolve." The display shifted to show the current state of the Centauri Empire's territories. Already, human ships were establishing positions throughout Centauri space, not as conquerors but as guardians and teachers. "Your people have potential," Dr. Wong offered kindly. "We've analyzed your genetic structure. With proper guidance, the Centauri could achieve similar evolutionary breakthroughs to humanity. That's what we're offering, not subjugation, but elevation." Sarah's compound eyes studied the humans around the table. Where once she had seen primitives worthy only of conquest, Now she recognized something far more significant. A species that had transcended normal evolution through sheer determination and ingenuity. And the precursor technology, she asked. Will be studied properly, Sarah replied. Not worshipped, not merely copied, but understood and improved upon. Humanity's collective consciousness has already begun decoding aspects of their science that your empire never grasped. The Queen's scales shifted to a deep purple of acceptance. Then, on behalf of the Zentari Empire, I formally submit to the authority of the Human Protectorate. As Sarah spoke these words, sensors across the galaxy detected new quantum disturbances. More ancient stations were awakening, responding to humanity's evolved consciousness. But unlike before, Earth was ready. It seems, Sarah observed, watching the readings, that our work is just beginning. The precursors left more than just weapons and ruins. They left tests, challenges for species worthy of their legacy. Dr. Wong nodded, his enhanced mind already processing the new data, and humanity will face them, as we have faced every challenge, with innovation, adaptation, and unity. Queen Sarah watched as the humans around the table reconnected to their collective consciousness, their enhanced minds reaching out to analyze and understand the new phenomena. She realized that her empire's defeat had actually been a blessing. Without it, the Zentari might never have witnessed what a truly evolved species could become. As the first ships of the Human Protectorate departed Earth to investigate the newly awakened precursor sites, Sarah Chen allowed herself a moment of reflection. Humanity had hidden its true nature for centuries, playing a long game of deception and preparation. Now, finally, they could step into the light as guardians of a galaxy that desperately needed guidance. The age of hiding was over. The era of human ascendance had truly begun. And somewhere in the vast depths of space, perhaps the precursors themselves were watching, waiting to see if humanity would prove worthy of the tests they had left behind. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Humanity would face it as they had faced everything else. Together, evolved, and unafraid.